In a world of glitz and glam, flashing lights and screaming fans, most people are unaware of the war that rages behind the scenes. And that war includes your favorite artist and your favorite songs. This is The Dark Side of Songwriting. Hosted by Nayim Edwards.
Welcome to The Dark Side of Songwriting. My name is Nayim Edwards and I am your host. Today, I want to talk about the Fetty Wap story, but not in the traditional way where people are probably talking about it. Oh, he going to jail for this and all these whatever, and all that stuff plays a part into it. But I was riding down, I think it was the New Jersey Turnpike the other day, ironically, right? And I was like, I'm in the mood to listen to some Fetty Wap. So, of course, I went to Spotify, I clicked on his name, and I saw he had a new album. And I already knew he had an album, but I'm guilty, just like everybody else, of when an artist falls off, you're not really giving a fuck about them, you're not giving a fuck about their music or whatever. But I liked Fetty Wap. I really enjoy his music, I enjoy his sound. But before, I just didn't give a fuck about the album. So this is new to me. I knew he had the album, but I never gave a fuck to click on it. I saw him on academics, I saw, the news. I still never went back and listened to the music. That's one manifold of how fucked up this shit is. But I listened to the Butterfly Effect, right? And the Butterfly Effect, I heard reviews about it, but I didn't realize how great. I had to go back and play it twice. And then I played it another time after the first two times a different day. And this was a very fantastic body of work. But that second time around, when I listened to it, I realized this nigga had a full fucking confessional about everything he's done. Now, I had to put that part first to tell you why the fuck we're even talking about this. Because let's run back to the beginning of Fetty Wap's career, right? Fetty Wap, when he hit like a nuke, right? We all remember this. He hit, his impact was crazy. You might not have liked Trap Queen necessarily when you first heard Trap Queen, but you knew that shit was a hit. And not even just you knew it was a hit. There was so much shit that went behind the scenes when Trap Queen came out, like he having to push it for X or Y-Z amount of time. You link up with your neighborhood record label, and that is something that I feel like this story encompasses perfectly, because a lot of, especially street-like musicians, you end up coming through because somebody in the neighborhood know what they're talking about, know what they're doing. They have some type of connection to be able to get you to the people. You don't have that, so you have to go through them, because that's the only way if you want to get your shit to wherever it wants to go. This is the same case with Fetty Wap. He already said that it was, these was his folks. They knew or whatever. He didn't even want to rap. So this is about the intricacies about it, because I feel like I can relate to not just that part, but I can relate to a motherfucker coming out and that it's like living a double life for real. Like when you really realize, after listening to this last album and everything he's saying on that bitch, that was basically his farewell. He was going away. He knew he was going to prison, whatever. When he started to rap, you can tell when somebody is good at something and they're good at other things, but not just they're good at something and they're good at other things. The other thing is the thing that's really the gamble. So his drug empire was the gamble, but it's doing so good. But you know that your songwriting and your music, that's doing better because that's the legal money. That's the only thing that really makes it better. Is that's legal. This is our way out. We can take this and we can go to the goddamn moon. I remember when I first started writing music for other people, and the first time somebody hired me to write anything for somebody else, I was like so fucking hype, because I'm just like, and it was only for like $125. This was so long ago, but I'm just like, I'm so fucking hyped because this shit is like all these years of working, all these years of writing, all these years of producing. I'm finally at a point where I can get paid and I can get money, but I already had other shit going on. You know, and in Fetty Wap's case, I absolutely believe that he already had other shit going on. His music just happened to pop. Because, you know, when you do music, it's a gamble anyway. So, because you never really know. The thing with music is you can't, in real life, you can't fake people liking your music. Point blank, period. You can buy whatever you want to buy. You can give a motherfucker whatever awards. You can advertise as much as you want to. You know, just as an example, Lil Pump was the biggest thing at one point in time. You know, you can't fake motherfuckers feeling your music. Now, there are going to be demographics that feel it, but the general consensus, especially in this culture, you can't fake niggas liking you in this culture. Other cultures can have no rules and no standards, but what I can say is the fans in our culture are really crazy and ridiculous too, but you can't fake that. You cannot fake people feeling you. Point blank, period. And you will know that by how motherfuckers react to your music when it come out. Like NBA YoungBoy, you can't fake NBA YoungBoy fans. You know what I'm saying? But not trying to get too far away from the point. Fetty Wap music blew up. It went crazy. It's whatever. And he was making, you know, probably like $1 million a week for some crazy ass number. I forgot the number he said, but he was making that much. You know, when you get, and you know, all of us as songwriters, we're all guilty of feeling invincible when we get to the point where it's like a machine. When we get to the point where shit is moving so good that we forgot that this is not forever. My thing is, everything has a window. As a songwriter, as a performing artist, we all know you have a window, unless you have a window at your peak. Now, you can live forever and perform forever. We got people like the Rolling Stones, you know, Sting and them, all of that, but Red Hot Chili Peppers, but AC/DC, but Jay-Z, shit. But you have a window. You have a window. And you're only going to be at your peak. Now, you can have multiple peaks, but what is really the odds and the chances of having multiple peaks in your career? As songwriters, when we finally get the one that stick. So like when I had my first one, that wasn't the one that stuck, but it was the one that stuck in that moment. But then after the first one, they kept rolling in and rolling in and rolling in and rolling in and rolling in. It was to the point where I was booked for months in advance just because people wanted my pen. Corporations and whatever, everybody wanted rappers and gospel people. They wanted me to write their music for them. So I was booked. And remember when I said about having your situation over here, this life, but this is the life where you just like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get to that point where it becomes a balancing act. If you really about what you say you're about, as far as being in this, because the thing is, there is no being both. Like, and that's true for everything, but there's no having this life and having this life. You're going to have to choose. And a lot of times we get to the point over here, and this is what we're getting to with literally the rise and the fall of Fetty Wap. Over in this life, the legal music life, this shit became bigger than you ever thought it was gonna be. And you're at your peak. You're ignoring people. You're doing this. He said he turned down Beyonce tour and all this shit because I'm at the top of my game. I'm number one. I can't be fucked with. I can't be touched. I'm the hottest thing out here. And you realize that now you might have not neglected this life over here, but you don't have to be as active over here because you found your ace in the hole. You found your way out. You got to that point when you're in the moment, entrenched. And this is why you don't want to have, and what was crazy with him, hits. And I felt like it could have kept going, but he really wasn't fully entrenched in music because he had another life. You know what I'm saying? He forgot that, I mean, you know, it's so much because his story is really fucking layered when you really pull it back. He's taking care of everybody. He's doing everything for everybody. Blah, 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 blah. Money coming, money doing this, whatever. This life done got bigger than this life over here. So you kind of just push that one to the side. I'm going to focus on this because this shit can be forever, because I know as a songwriter, if I can write one hit, I can write another hit. If I can write one good song, I can write another good song. If I write a song to get placed over here, I know I can write a song that can get placed over there. And this is what he was feeling and what he is not telling you necessarily. He might have said it, but like, he was already doing the drug thing. He was already doing that. It might not have been whatever. He might have been able to step away from it, but he was already doing it. I'm trying to get to the point where he's at his peak, and then now it looks like to us, he fell from grace straight into hell, but that is not what happened. Your fall is always going to be gradual. My thing is with a song like Trap Queen, like he said, that is a song he's going to get paid from forever. He can go do his time. He's going to still get paid from it. You know, because all he got to do, as soon as he go to jail, Trap Queen goes up. All his music goes up because we're looking at him. Now, does he own the music? No. Like, he might not own, yeah, he was 300. He don't own that shit. He don't own the music. He might own parts of it, but he's still going to get enough money from it where he can take care of himself. Is that good? That's a conversation for another time. He hit his peak. He's falling from grace. You don't notice it because he has so many hits. He has so much good music. He's on so many features. And that's how you can keep yourself alive while you're not putting music out, is features. So I hope he was recording and giving motherfuckers verses instead of trying to put a project out and then flop or whatever the case be. I don't know what the fuck just happened with the TV. But he's falling. He's noticing he's falling. He's saying he's noticing he's not making as much money as he used to. He woke up and he ain't make 100,000, whatever, or a million, or whatever the fuck the number was, and he started to panic. The worst thing that happens in this music when you're at a mainstream level is when you start to panic. It's because we love the street. We love the street people, but the people from the streets need it. By the time they learn, there's been people who's been fucked over. You know, you have examples of executives that came from the streets, but by the time those people got out of the street and decided to be full-fledged executives, so many people have had to learn the hard way, and now they become great at whatever. You know what I'm saying? He learned to, I think he said, well, I don't even know what the fuck, but he started to panic, and he didn't have nobody to tell him how to, hey, stop panicking. This is what we're about to do to keep this train afloat. Because again, we always come back to this thing where people don't understand where it is, when it's over. They don't understand where the peak is over. Because my thing is, you have a global hit, you're fine. Like, once you have a hit record, a global hit record, you're fine. That's if you instantly come out the pot. Now, what you really want is a career that's kind of like this. You know what I'm saying? You don't want a career that's like this and that, because it's like, it's fun, but it's when you up, you up. When you down, you're in hell. You know, with Fetty, he panicked to the point where we all know 300 is where careers really went to die back then. Like now, I don't know what the fuck. It's a graveyard over there or whatever. Like all the artists is in a scramble. But he crashed, and because he didn't have no guidance, he crashed so fucking hard. When it finally got revealed to us that it was whatever, now he could come out and play this. I was never really having fun with the music. The music wasn't fun. I bet not. I bet the music's not fun when you fucked up and fucked over and everybody's taking money and you gotta turn. You gotta cut motherfuckers off and you gotta get rid of motherfuckers because everybody got their hand in the motherfucking pot. And niggas stealing your goddamn song. That's another thing we're gonna have to talk about. How they put Drake on the song, but you wanted your homeboy on the song because you wanted to give your best friend a career, but the industry took the song and said fuck your friend, and luckily your friend is really your friend, because that could have turned into something else, like ruined the whole motherfucking friendship, but you were pissed about that, so you ain't want to fuck with him. You know, that's actually, we're gonna have to do that completely in depth and in detail, because that actually happens a lot. But when he hit his, you know, when he hit the floor, he went back to the other side, because let's be for real, this shit is embarrassing. Like if you have a hit and you have a whatever and you're not a one-hit wonder because you have 5-6 hits in 1 year, it's embarrassing for motherfuckers to be like, damn, Fetty Wap fell off. Damn, Fetty Wap, what happened to him? And that's all motherfuckers say, damn, like Fetty Wap came and went. I miss Fetty Wap, you know what I'm saying? You go back to the other side, because it's less embarrassing to go to prison for drugs or really anything. It's less embarrassing to go to prison than to admit you fell off. You know, it's less embarrassing to go back to what you knew, go back to your old life, than it is to admit I made a mistake somewhere in my music career, and actually find somebody who can help you get back to where you were. Get back, and you're never going to get back to where you were, but it's less embarrassing to say, I wasn't having fun with it. I didn't really want to do it. That is less embarrassing. And we're actually going to talk about tomorrow, just as a insert, because there's a lot on the desk, why rappers lie and the lies that rappers tell. You know what I'm saying? But it's less embarrassing to jeopardize your whole life, or it's really less embarrassing to die as well. Yeah, well, we can say that. It's less embarrassing to go to jail, go to prison, die. The only thing that really is embarrassing is getting beat up. My thing is, if something happened to you when you live, that's less embarrassing than something happening to you and you dying. You know what I'm saying? If you get beat up and you lived, your rap career is pretty much over, depending on what kind of rap you are. You know, somebody beat up Sean Kingston. Who gives a fuck? Does he rap? But it's less embarrassing, you know, than coming over there and, like I said, admitting that shit is fucked up. So he went back to what he knew. And then, to wrap it up, his confessional was his last project. And I'm listening to it, and he's talking about how he knew he was going to prison. He knew this was his last thing. It's been 7 years since he did anything. This is finally the music that he wanted to make. He wanted to do. Blah, 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 blah. All this shit. Actually, there's a lot of different parts. I should have broke this down. We'll have to do a bunch of different parts to his story, because it's a lot of shit that happened that we can talk about as examples of shit that happens, but that might be on the other show. But last album was a full fucking confessional. He knew he was doing this. He was moving weight. He was doing that. Said bye to his kids. Said bye to his girl. And I didn't realize that till I went back and listened to the album the second time. So that, I mean, that's the intricacies of his story. I didn't get to cover everything because I'm realizing there's a lot of examples that need to be pulled from this. Oh, if you didn't listen to Butterfly Effect, go listen to it. It's pretty good to me. It's not like his first album. Also, you can tell that he didn't have you can tell he did this one himself, because the engineering's not the same as the other projects. It doesn't sound the same sonically. Technically, it doesn't sound the same either. But that's basically it as far as like a timeline of the events. And he knew he was leaving, and that's really like what's so dark. Like this whole shit has been dark because it's like it's been the struggle. His whole career has been a struggle because he was really something else, and he, now I want to say he just happened to do this, but he was really something else, and he just happened to become something else. And the war, this is a war he didn't even really get to come out and say, and now it's less embarrassing that he's going to prison now, because now he'll be back in the headlines, he'll have money coming in, the usual shit. We're gonna get up with y'all tomorrow, and we're gonna talk about the lies that rappers tell, because I got to do that. Shout out to Theo for sending me this crazy ass Paul Wall video. But anyway, this is the dark side of songwriting. My name is Nayim, and I will holler at you.